Elon has 23 million shares expiring in August, which is also the deadline for his tax bill that's due in the IRS. Musk started exercising the options November 8th. He exercised $2.5 billion in shares, $1 billion in shares, and sold 1.1 billion of those exercised options to pay the taxes. That might not be the whole picture. The only reason he's selling is to pay taxes. There's probably more to that story, why he's selling Tesla and why he's selling these stocks.
Creating, someone who's rich on paper, all this crypto stuff, which we're going to move into, where everybody's rich on paper from crypto. I want to know all those people that make all this money in crypto. I want you to tell me your path to actually converting all of your crypto money into actual exchangeable currency. Dollars, money. Yeah. Okay. Money is nothing more than a means of exchange. You can't exchange your crypto. Oh, sure. Yes, we can. We can exchange it for other cryptos. It's smoke and mirrors, folks. There's no fundamental basis. It's not an exchangeable. You just can't exchange it. And we're going to get into that because, down here, Ben is really big into this. And I know some people on here are NFT people, which, hey, NFTs could be the future. Bitcoin could be the future. I very much doubt it because you guys all know the government is not going to adopt Bitcoin as the currency. They're going to create their own. And then they're going to tell all of you, just like gold, to trade in your Bitcoin or whatever coins you have. And they might even do like, hey, it's a 2-for-1 special. Give us one of your Bitcoins. We'll give you 2 of these digital currencies that we've created. It's going to happen. And then Bitcoin will go underground. It will not go away. Bitcoin's here to stay. So is Ethereum. And so are probably a lot of these, not Dogecoin, not Shibu Inu, not any of these other ones. You all will all find out. They will go to zero, and all of you playing in that space, if you didn't take your gains off the table, which could be significant right now, you will lose it all. Mark my word. Like, we can have this conversation when it happens, and you can say, boy, I wish I would have listened, but you won't because you're stuck in this FOMO, false reality. What do we got here? Bitcoin. Let's talk about it. And Ben, I love this because this is your topic, buddy. And a lot of people are going to come in here. See somebody on here, NFT Animator said each cryptocurrency has a monetary value. Yes. Based on what? NFT. What is the monetary value based on? What fundamental, where are the fundamentals behind it? Please tell me. It is investor confidence. When you lose investor confidence, which will come when the stock market crashes, the crypto market, maybe initially it might spike because people are going to have to find somewhere for their money to go. But eventually that will crash, creating a massive buying opportunity for the smart ones that actually sit on the sidelines. I think, and don't mark my word on this, but I think you will see Bitcoin in the $20,000 range again in the next 2 years. Not this year for sure. I think you'll see Bitcoin at 80,000 by the end of the year. But when it does, how many of you will actually have the money to actually buy it at 20,000? Because I bet you the answer is not enough of you, because you will all ride this pony all the way up and then all the way down because your investor confidence, you think that it's going to keep going, and you will be wrong. I'm sorry. You will be. History will prove me right and you wrong if you think it's going to continue to go. But I'm not saying it's going to end. I'm not saying that this is all just a big scam. I'm saying you have to trade it and play it for what it is. Ben, what do you think, man? Because Bitcoin's just gone from 69,000 to 59,000. Are you buying?
1 week.
I'm actually not buying right now.
Smart man.
I'm waiting. So like I said before, I was out at 10,000 in 2017, right before the big crash. Mm-hmm. I missed, a lot of gains, but it went down to like 3,000. And then I was back in maybe end of 2019 and really ramped up the buying when I was getting my free $600 from the government and found out that I didn't have to go into forbearance. So, yeah, I canceled that. I was like, my tenants, they lost their jobs. I lost my job. How am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to pay the mortgage? So got the free money from the government. I was like, okay, I'm going to put all this money into Bitcoin because, free money will probably turn into inflation. Bitcoin went down to $5,000, and then I waited. And I sold early January at 30,000, missed out on it, doubled again. Funny how that works.
It's okay though, but you made money, man. Yeah. You didn't lose money.
Right. And I went back in when it went from 60 to, I started dollar cost averaging, I think around 40,000. So my average cost is 35 right now. And I've taken a little bit of profits in Ethereum. I'm waiting till 80 to take more profits. If it gets to that, it might not, but I really think that since it passed the all-time highs in, I believe, May, that it will have one leg higher before the big crash. And usually like 80% crashes in cryptocurrency are common. So I want to start buying below 40,000.
Amen, man. Listen,
I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold. If it goes down, I'll buy more,
So none of you probably know Ben, but Ben's been on What the F Happened for quite a while. And his comments were, and just like Colorado's here, his comments really stood out. I watch the comments and I read. Most of it's just, people commenting and nothing of real substance. But Ben, his comments had substance, just like this gentleman Colorado has. And when I see that, I realize that this person knows more than what we're giving credit for. So I brought him on the show. I don't know if you just heard him, but he's got rules for trading. And not only that, listen, the one thing I can say about crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and, some of the, original ones that we all know, thank God, because crypto and day trading for that matter saved a whole lot of people during COVID. It kept them from losing their houses. It kept the roof over their head, food on the table, diapers on the baby. It was amazing that people actually adopted this. And now it's kind of, it's definitely here to stay, but it's spun into something that, I think is largely due to investor confidence when you talk about the shit coins. But, and one other thing I did want to bring up, because Ben, I want your comment on this. We had NFT Animator, which I'm guessing NFT Animator is making money on NFTs. Sounds much like it. He said, let's see, NFTs have become the new stock market. I'm dropping fresh NFT. Oh, yep. See, there he's promoting. But he said something that made sense here. Each cryptocurrency has monetary value. Monetary value is based on how many dollars are in it. Can you comment on that one statement? Because I disagree, because I think the monetary value is based on investor confidence that is there, not actual real dollars or fundamentals. What do you think, Ben?
I think you guys are kind of both right. So things are kind of shifting. I don't know too much about the NFTs. I don't own any NFTs, don't fully understand it. The non-fungible token, it's like digital art to me, but people are actually, they are like buying digital real estate already in the metaverse. And I guess people are even like renting out digital space. And this isn't like a lead buyer, like a lead generating site. It's not like that. It's actual like virtual space. So with the NFTs, I think like there could be a shift, but I think the NFTs will probably be a similar crash to all the, crypto crashes we've seen. I think that it is the future. Like I said, I don't really know that much about it, so I can't, I don't have an educated commentary on it.
Yeah, I mean, this tweet on the screen right here, this was put up 2 days ago by Shiba's founder, Nakamoto. He said, I'm convinced that less than 1% of people who talk about crypto know even the most basic things about it, which I'd agree with. And Elon says, comments, normal money is actually a bunch of ancient mainframes running COBOL in batch mode where government can edit money database whenever they want. So Elon Musk has been real hot on Twitter lately, coming out with some good takes.
Oh my God, I loved his one thing. I'm not even going to go into it. It's too political, but there's some really fun stuff he's been putting out there.
I'm going to throw out, be careful with NFTs. I truly believe NFTs are going to be the .com crash of our era. I think it's going to tumble like a block of freaking ice. I don't think it's going to end well. Just be careful out there.
Yeah. And Colorado right here, he said, I disagree. He's talking about, I think what NFT was commenting. He said, I disagree. Many things have flooded with tons of money in it, and confidence leaves when the buyers leave. Absolutely. Like when you don't have buyers, You don't have value, and it's game over. Right now, it's all based on speculation, investor confidence, and everybody running to find things to invest in because they're scared of having money in cash, because they think with inflation, their cash is going to go down to nothing, which is not true. Because I'll tell you what's going to happen. Let me predict the future based on what happened in 1929, 2008, and any other recessionary period. Sorry, I'm a little older, and I've studied history probably more than 99% of all of you. I'm just a freaking nerd about history. Here's what's going to happen. Inflation is going to continue to run rampant because the government will allow it to. The government will keep printing money, which will keep inflating the money supply, which will keep all these bubbles nice and healthy until they're not anymore, until the government has to and is forced to raise interest rates. At that point, you will be not in an inflationary period anymore. You will immediately switch to deflation. And in deflation, all these asset bubbles will pop, will deflate, and things will come back down to levels where the smart money, the Warren Buffetts, the Ray Dalios, I'm going to call myself and Stephen and Ben smart money because we trade with rules. We will buy when everybody else is forced to sell because you ignored the laws of wealth. That will happen. We will go from inflation very quickly to deflation. Deflation will be great for people that are ready, that have been sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the opportunity. And all of you that are buying into this FOMO, this false reality, and have all this investor confidence, it's going to the moon. You are just like all the people back in 1926 to 1929 or 2006 and 2007 that were piling money into assets, into things in an inflated bubble. You will lose. Rich will become the next poor, and the true wealth, the smart money, will get richer. There it is. I just predicted the future for you. You can read The Creature from Jekyll Island. You can read any book about the Great Depression. That's reality. All this smoke and mirrors, all this stuff is great while you're making money, but have a plan on how to exit. Because Warren Buffett says it best. You got to buy low. Okay, maybe Bitcoin's cheap enough for some of you. I'm with Ben. I buy at 40,000. We will test 40,000. Maybe not this year. But, for Ben and I and many of you, that's okay. Like, it's a couple months away. We got Thanksgiving. We got Christmas. We can spend time with family. We don't need to worry about making all this money and trying to jump into something because we fear missing out. Oh, my God, if I don't buy Bitcoin at 59, I'm going to miss it when it goes to 80. So what? It'll be back down to 40. Hell, it might be back down to 20. Buy it then. Like, you're not missing out on anything, and you won't miss out on anything if you just trade with rules and you buy and you sell and take your gains and convert them to actual money, which is a means of exchange, and then you find ways to move your money. Stephen, what's the next topic? Because we're done with this.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit about Elon Musk. There's been a lot of talk back and forth these days about, what Elon's doing with his stock options. Chris, do you want to just briefly explain kind of like what stock options are and what Elon's doing right now? That because what's happening is Elon has, Elon has 23 million shares expiring in August, which is also the deadline for his tax bill that's due in the IRS. Musk started exercising the options November 8th. He exercised $2.5 billion in shares, $1 billion in shares, and sold 1.1 billion of those exercised options to pay the taxes. And then they're saying that might not be the whole picture. The only reason he's selling is to pay taxes. There's probably more to that story, why he's selling Tesla and why he's selling these stocks. Any comments on that?
I mean, stock options are very easy to understand. Any of you can just go to Google, you can look it up, and basically a stock option, and it's common in the publicly traded company space. It's the right to buy a set number of shares at a set prefixed price. That's all. So a stock option, you work for a company, they can give you stock options that vest in, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. It just gives you the right to buy the stock at a set price, which might be significantly less than the stock is valued, or hey, maybe the stock's worth more. I mean, it can go both ways, but it's a smart way. A lot of people use stock options. If you read Steve Jobs' book, a lot of how he played the game with Apple when, he basically, I don't want to say lost Apple, but got bought out, and then he bought back in. It was all through stock options. He won that bet, did he not? So that's all stock options are. And then you just exercise at that strike price or that preset price, and then you actually own the stock. But if you bought it at 20 and the stock is appreciated to 100, you did pretty good with your stock options. I hope that was a okay representation.
Yeah, definitely. So this goes back to last week we talked about, because Elon had put a poll, a survey on his Twitter account asking users, should I sell, 10 billion shares or whatever it was. And 58% of people said yes, and 40 some said no. So he ended up selling, right? And now, he's kind of messing a little bit with Bernie Sanders here, which Elon, the constant antagonist in all this, which is interesting to see someone, the richest man in America that heads these incredible companies like Tesla and SpaceX and the Boring Company, being so brazen, in my opinion, on Twitter and what he says. But, he starts out with saying, I keep forgetting that you're still alive, which is just hysterical. But, and then he's saying, hey, you want me to sell more stock, Bernie? Just say the word. And then he goes on. Sorry, this thing just takes a second to pull this stuff up.
That's all right, dude. People are loving this.
He said the very next day, just check this one out. And then these are the only two I had for you. So Bernie, the very next day, comes out and says, we must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share, period. So Elon simply asks, okay, how much do you think is fair? Does 53% seem reasonable? And, he goes on to say, Bernie never actually responds on Twitter. And Elon says, how do we know he hasn't been kidnapped by aliens? Having a little fun. But the point of the matter is, what is fair? What is a fair share? I mean, it brings up a great point. We've brought people on our show in the past that teach things like 1041 tax reporting. And, it's said that there's two tax laws in this country, one for the informed and one for the non-informed, and both are legal. So what is fair and how does that work? And I saw somebody ask in the comments earlier, what if we went to a simple tax structure of, it's just flat across the board.
Flat tax, yeah.
Structure. I mean, the tax code is tens of thousands of pages. Like, why is that? So what is the fair share? And it just brings up the whole tax thing. It's a fascinating question, in my opinion.
Yeah, and if I may comment, and then Ben, I want you to comment on this as well. I mean, we all, I think, love Elon Musk. I mean, he puts it out there. He's, I relate to him a lot. I mean, I swear a lot. He might not swear as much as I do, but like we both just say what's on our mind. Maybe it gets us in trouble. Maybe it doesn't, but it certainly gets a rise out of most people, love it or hate it. But here's the thing, like taxes. What is the fair share? Well, all of you should write this down. And the book is called The Power of Zero. Okay, read the book, The Power of Zero, to understand a little bit more about taxes. I got news for everybody. The taxes that you pay today will be the lowest taxes you will ever pay for the rest of your life. So now if we think that, if we truly in our mind, in our heart, believe that today's taxes are the lowest they're ever going to be, then why would we be upset with selling stocks and paying capital gains on them? Why would we be upset with selling our real estate holdings and paying a fair share of taxes on that real estate? Well, most people don't want to pay tax. So what they do is they use things like exchanges, legal exchange programs. They use different ways to kick the can down the line and wait to pay the taxes to another day, or tax defer, or however you do it. In that strategy, when you are kicking the can, playing the tax deferred game, you will lose. The government loves you. Literally, they should mail you a Christmas present, because all you're doing is guaranteeing the government will get more tax dollars from you on your inflated assets down the line. That's it. I choose to now, right in this current environment, pay taxes. Okay. I have no problem. I think taxes are literally a luxury of making money. Now, do I know ways to pay less in taxes? Sure, I do. Do I file 1041? Not this year, but I will be in 2021. I will have trusts and foundations in place during that tax reporting. And I will have a little dial that will allow me to dial in how much I want to pay in taxes by how much money I actually take in a salary personally. And I will file a 1040 tax return on the amount that I take as a salary to live on. Okay. And I will not pay much in taxes on my 1041 tax reporting, which is trust and foundations. You guys, I'm not a CPA. I can't give tax advice, but listen, I have really smart people in my corner. I am the Henry Ford mimicker. That's it. I have a row of buttons of smarter people than I am, because I'm just not smart. Will be a button eventually, and smart people all get a button in my row of buttons because I'm just not smart enough. So I learn from smart people. Paying taxes today means that you don't have to pay them in the future, and you get to pay taxes at the lowest tax rate you'll ever pay them at. So that's my take on taxes, Stephen. And
this is exactly what This is exactly, you're saying exactly what the article is saying that Elon might be thinking, because it's going into the different reasons why he's selling now and what he could leave on the table if he didn't and what that looks like. But here, if you all the way to the end of the article, federal taxes are also likely to increase next year, creating an added incentive if he were already considering a cash out of why he's selling now. Exactly like you're saying, Chris, pay the taxes now because taxes are doing nothing but going up and up and up in the future. So take the hit now and move on.
Absolutely. I think that's smart. And it's like crypto, all the stuff in crypto. We've all kind of had this nice little, gray area with crypto where we've been able to not have to pay taxes on some stuff, but those days are over. They're going to tax your crypto. They're going to tax your gains. You're not going to get around it. Hell, eventually they'll probably they'll probably do something where you have to pay taxes. They're trying to do this right now where you have to pay taxes on capital gains, even if you don't sell. Let's keep talking here about
while you're looking for that. So what is leading to higher taxes? What is leading to inflation? Well, could a $2.4 trillion spending package lead to more inflation or more taxes? Well, let's see what the Committee for Responsible Federal Budgets came out with a couple days ago. So this is in relation to the Build Back Better bill that is trying to be tacked on to the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which is just signed into law by Biden on Monday. So this is saying that we estimate, this is from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. We estimate the House Build Back Better includes roughly $2.4 trillion of spending and tax cuts, along with roughly $2.2 trillion of offsets. However, the bill relies on a number of sunsets and expirations. What that means is a sunset and expiration means they're putting a social program in for a certain amount of time and only counting the cost of it for, let's say, 5 years. But social programs like that very rarely, if ever, actually expire. They're always extended and they continue. So what they're saying here is this is relying on these things actually expiring, but odds are they will not. So they're saying to keep the official cost down. If the plan's temporary policies were made permanent, we find that the cost would increase by as much as $2.5 trillion. As a result, the gross cost of the bill would more than double from 2.4 to 4.9 trillion. So keep in mind, this is the bill that the administration is going around the country right now saying that is going to cost zero. There's zero cost to the Build Back Better agenda. There's zero cost, zero inflation, zero anything. You're not going to see any effect on taxes or anything. But the Committee for Responsible Federal Budgets is saying differently. So what are you going to believe? The inflation you're seeing at the grocery store or what the talking heads on TV are telling you?
Well, the talking heads on TV are always changing what they're saying. They'll say one thing one month. The next month, they totally contradict themselves and say something else. Ben, what's your opinion on this?
Oh.
Put you right on the spot, man.
A lot of opinions.
Well, just blurt them out, man. Blurt them out.
All right, I got a little distracted, so just give me one question, and I'll answer the question. That's a lot of stuff to respond to. Is Build Back Better going to cost?
Is
it nothing? No. it's gonna cost us in some way, shape, or form. And like you said, they're printing trillions and trillions of dollars, and we're gonna be footing that bill. And like I'm glad that I sold my cryptocurrency this year because I'll probably pay less tax than what I'm selling in the future. And yeah, but like you said, the tax is probably going to continue going up. People want to be like all the socialist countries and pay 50% tax. And I don't want to pay 50% tax, but some people do, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think the people that do, Ben, are the people that just want everything handed to them, and they don't understand the ramifications of what that means. There is no free lunch, folks. There is no cavalry coming to save you. It's a game of smoke and mirrors and buying your vote. That's all it is, just like Colorado just said. Government social programs never die. They are always extended to try to keep future votes. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. And, it's we all just constantly have to just keep, watching this, evolving with it and learning. We can't beat the system. The Fed, right? So all of you really should read The Creature from Jekyll Island. The Fed is not owned by the government. The Fed is a private institution of the wealthiest families. Heck, we don't even know who sits on that board. I guarantee Satan's one of them. But hey, who am I to say? I don't know. Read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. You'll understand more about the Fed. It's not going anywhere. They control it all. Okay. It's the puppeteers up at top. That's what they're doing. And we just need to learn how to play the game. Okay. We can't beat the game. We just got to play within the rules and just learn how that works, because the tax code specifically has ways to beat it, because the wealthy, the voters, okay, that all that plays into, they need a way to not have to do what we have to do. Like, just look around. Like, they don't pay the taxes you do. They don't have to abide by the same rules, but it's not because they're bending the rules or beating the rules. They're playing within them. They just understand them, the informed versus the uninformed. Stephen, what were you going to share there?
Crypto.com just signed a $700 million deal with the Lakers Center for naming rights. So crypto's not going anywhere. It did get a little setback this week. The SEC ruled against making the crypto ETF fund available, which is interesting because people were very, very confident that ETF fund was going to be approved by the SEC. They just said no to that. So we'll see where that goes. But crypto's going nowhere, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and I agree. And all right, if you like that video, make sure you check out this video right now. And also, don't forget, subscribe to my channel, and don't ever forget to smash that alert button. We'll see you on the next one.